This is my reaction video to the Bengals' 24-17 win over the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. A crazy game, one that if you're a Ravens fan, you should be incredibly disappointed in. Not to take credit away from the Bengals because they made plays. Look, that defense challenges everything you do. That's one of the things that I respect about them. Think that I recognize it. They challenge everything: passes, run plays, quarterback sneaks. Clearly, you have a picture in front of you that is the play of the game. And in my opinion, I'm going to talk about two situations where the Ravens offense just completely fails. I think the defense did a nice job. There was stretches where the Bengals looked like they could just dink and dunk and move downfield. Watching the game, I was frustrated as a Ravens fan, as someone who saw the Ravens slow down the Bengals offense for 8 quarters. Well, then lo and behold, you get to the end of this game, and Joe Burrow has 209 yards passing. The Bengals, as a team, tonight averaged 4.3 yards per play. Had 51 rushing yards. Yes, their offensive line is severely handicapped at this point. Going to be a problem for them moving forward, clearly. I'll let some of the offense stats show. I'm going to come back to this picture in a moment. My point in talking about the defensive stats is this. The Ravens had 2 situations offensively that were absolute cluster. Absolute catastrophe. The QB sneak, the failed QB sneak. Apparently, Tyler Huntley was supposed to go low. To me, that's not a quarterback sneak situation. To me, that looked like 3rd and goal from maybe not the 1.5, but it looked like it was outside the 1 to me. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. Huntley tries to go over the top. An amazing play by Logan Wilson. Give the guy his due. Some of the plays he made tonight. Did you see the 3rd down play he made on Justice Hill, where we had to convert a 4th down earlier? Amazing play. And then that play on the quarterback sneak, amazing. That's why you don't do that, though. That's football 101, at least what I was taught. You don't try to jump over the pile from too far out because there's just too many hands in there, especially when you're playing against a group of guys on the Bengals defense that they're going to challenge everything you do. So is it kind of random? Is it kind of something that's a chance? Call it whatever you want. They've done it before. I think that's how they beat the Patriots. Patriots had 1st and goal with 55 seconds left 3 or 4 weeks ago, something like that. The week the Ravens lost to the Steelers, I believe, so maybe it was only 3 weeks ago. So in any case, it's something that happens when you play with great pursuit, great passion, and your play call is terrible. The Ravens' play call in that goal line situation was terrible. You have Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins who have been making plays. Gus only averaged 3.6 per carry tonight for the whole game. I don't think J.K. only averaged 4.3, 4.4. But you could see the talent. Those guys are making plays. I don't like the quarterback sneak call. I don't know about you. That's not making excuses, for the Bengals winning. The Ravens coaches, in my opinion, let their players down offensively in that situation. Calling that sneak from that far out, even if it's supposed to be a low sneak from that far out. When the hell have we been good at quarterback sneaks? We've been good at running stretch left. We've been good at running some other things. I feel like it was a terrible play call. It was a terrible play by Tyler Huntley. Let's get that out there. But I thought Tyler Huntley played his ass off for a lot of the game tonight. That situation, that was early in the 4th quarter, 11 and a half minutes left. The Ravens have, if you ask me, yes, they gave up a touchdown to Cincinnati. Cincinnati was able to take a 17-10 lead. Ravens tied it on the sluggo to slant and go to Demarcus Robinson, and then had a great drive. I thought a fantastic drive where we hit Mark Andrews for 25. Then Tyler Huntley keeps it on a great play call to the left side, QB counter read, against our tendencies, by the way, early in the 4th. I think 4th play of the 3rd quarter for 35 yards, and we get that. It's fitting. It's a fitting end, for real. That's not fun to think about as a Ravens fan. We deserved that fate because of how horrible we were inside the 4th down situations this year. We've been really horrible across the board, whether it's run or pass. Even when we had Lamar, we've been really bad. Look at the Buffalo game. Look at some of the other situations where we've had 4th down and we've gone for it. The Miami game at midfield, the failed quarterback sneak. We've been terrible at those situations for whatever reason. And calling that quarterback sneak from, in my opinion, maybe it's not the 1.5, but let's call it the 1.2 3-3. Let's call it the 1 1/3 yard line. I think it's outside the 1. I may be wrong there, and if so, then that's fine. Calling that quarterback sneak, in my opinion, does not set our players up to succeed. All right, then the other situation that is just embarrassing is the final drive. The Ravens defense, I thought, they gave up a touchdown to open the third quarter, and then they forced 3 straight punts. The final punt is a 4th and 11 punt that Prochet has a nice return on to about midfield with 3.5 minutes left, 3:25, something like that. I'm not letting pictures scroll, to be honest with you. This is a quicker reaction video. I don't think people want to wait for 45 minutes or an hour to see me throw a bunch of pictures in there. Ravens get the ball. Andrews for 6. We think we've got the first down to Justice Hill at the 2-minute warning. I thought that was a good play call. It was a great play by Logan Wilson, but I thought it was a good play call. We did that 3 times tonight, and twice we threw it to the running back. One was the touchdown to JK. One was this 3rd and 2 with about 2:20 left, or 2 minutes left. Basically, the running back lines up on our left, and on the snap, he crosses the offensive formation and goes out in the flats on the other side. For whatever reason, the Ravens thought that we could convert that. You got a short touchdown to JK, and then you got that 3rd and 2 that ended up being a little short to Justice Hill. And then on the very next play, Tyler Huntley converts to 4th and 1. Ravens get Demarcus Robinson for 8 yards. There's a penalty on Cam Taylor-Britt. We get down to, this is my charting, we have a 1st and 10 on the 28. We hit Dobbins underneath in the middle of the field for 11 yards. That's at the 117 mark by my charting and by ESPN's charting that I'm looking at right now. The next play isn't run until there's 34 seconds left in the game. The incomplete pass to Andrews that Jermaine Pratt almost intercepted. How does that happen? That's embarrassing. Guys, I've been around 12-year-olds who could run a hurry-up offense, get up there, and the quarterback, make one of 3 play calls. Now, we had different personnel on the field maybe. Maybe you want to make an excuse and say, well, we wanted to change our personnel. We wanted to sub. Spike the ball. Do something. We wasted, by my math, 26 plus 17, 43 seconds elapsed from Tyler Huntley's pass to Dobbins in the middle of the field to the incomplete pass to Andrews. Now, something there doesn't sound right. It sounds like to me there's probably less time. Maybe it was 35 seconds. Maybe it was 34. If there's anyone that wants to look at it while you're listening, go right ahead. Somewhere between 34 to 43 seconds, something like that, was wasted, and I think we have 2 timeouts. What the hell is going on? I don't know about you. I was watching it like a little bit horrified, but I don't know if you've ever seen that meme or that GIF from the show Survivor. And there's like 2 girls standing, one on the right, one on the left, and there's like some guy standing in the middle, and the girls like put their hands over their mouth, and they're like horrified because I don't know what was happening in the context of the show. They're horrified, and the guy in the middle gets this like evil smile on his face. I didn't want the Ravens to lose. Like, I'm not one of those losers. If you are, like, you're a loser. If you wanted the Ravens to lose for whatever reason, you're a loser. I didn't want that, but that situation made me smile a little bit because I was like, this is a fitting end. It sucks, to have the maturity level or whatever it is for me to be able to look at it that way. That was a fitting end. And that offensive meltdown is what it was, if you ask me, in the final minute and 17 seconds. Maybe you got a different opinion. I take no joy in smiling an evil smile about it. But like that right there, if you didn't want a completely new offensive, focus, offensive staff, whatever, your perspective is, how far it should go. If you didn't want that situation in a playoff game with professional football players, guys who prepare, it is their job all week long to get ready for that. In a game where you outgain the Bengals by 130 yards, I believe. Yeah, there it is on your screen right there, 130 yards. That should piss you off. And for me, it not only pissed me off, but it made me realize this is the final nail in this offense's, coffin. For real. It has to be. There's no way to move past offensive ineptitude like that. Now, when we say offensive ineptitude, like, For real. Tyler Huntley played well. Tyler Huntley did some great things. He had 54 yards rushing, 226 yards passing, only got sacked twice, made an unbelievable play. Now, twice he mishandled snaps, though, that I didn't think were high, so that was weird. But in any case, offensively, we did some things. We hit DeMarcus Robinson. We finally did a double move against the Bengals. It's like they're one of those teams like the Broncos that stares in the backfield the whole damn time with their DB. Not the whole time, but oftentimes. It's like, why are we not running double moves occasionally? We're getting time. I didn't think the pass pro was great on the left side. I'm going to be honest with you. The last 2 weeks, I don't think Ronnie Stanley has played real well up to his standard. Let me phrase it that way. His grade might be fine. People may come on and tell you his grade was fine, Monday and Tuesday. I just don't see the same level player in the last 2 weeks that I saw so earlier this season. He looked different against Trey Hendrickson, and that surprised me because I thought in week 5 he shut Trey Hendrickson down. The last week I thought there was 4 or 5 reps where Hendrickson got the better of him. Tonight I thought there might have been 5 or 6. That last situation, the Hail Mary, Huntley just getting the ball off, giving our guys an opportunity, I thought was a great play by Huntley. The ball tipping off of Prochet's hands after, deflecting like 6 feet in front of him. If you think that's easy to catch, you've never done that drill. We've done that drill, which is basically you practice it. You put someone 6, 8, 10 feet out in front of the receiver. You have them deflect the ball or not deflect the ball, and you practice trying to catch it. It's incredibly difficult to do. I assign no blame to someone who's trying to catch the ball off target, meaning it's been deflected and then changed trajectory 6 feet out in front of him. Very difficult to do. Defensively, I was not feeling well after the opening possession of the third quarter. I thought the Bengals went down there and handled their business. Our opening possession, look, we wasted an opportunity offensively to finish the second quarter. Let's be real. We wasted an opportunity to get a touchdown, and we only go into the half, I believe, 10-9, right? I think it's 10-9. We had a first and goal from the 1. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wrong possession. My bad. All right, there we go. We get the football down, after, I believe, a turnover, right? Is it a turnover? Let me scroll back. Sorry. The game was so long, I got to scroll all the way back. All right, so we're talking about late second quarter. The Ravens have to settle for a field goal. And we had timeout situation where I think we were out of timeouts. So we had to go sprint right, meaning sprint out is when the quarterback runs to the right. And I know some people don't like that play call. But in this situation, if you're either trying to conserve timeouts or you don't have timeouts, it gives the quarterback the option to throw it away. Fine. There's no problem. That's the second and goal play from the 4, and the third and goal play from the 4. Here's my problem. The first and goal play was the throwback screen to Andrews from the 3 with like 20. I think the play started with 26 seconds left, and we lost a yard. Jesse Bates made a great play. Here's my problem. We're trying to be cute. We're trying to outsmart people. So I mentioned 2 offensive situations. The failed quarterback sneak by Huntley early in the fourth quarter, and then the final offensive possession that was garbage in terms of time management, and that falls on everybody's head, Harbaugh included, because we finished with 2 timeouts. Someone in my Discord said, do we get to carry that timeout over the next year? But this first and goal play late in the second quarter, in my opinion, from the 3, that one determined the possession. Could we run? Am I saying we should run the ball? I don't care what we do. I don't want to run a play that we haven't run all year. I haven't seen that. We tried to run that throwback screen to Isaiah Likely once against the Steelers, and Robert Spillane, I believe, made the tackle. And maybe we tried to run it once against the Saints, and it was incomplete. That's my memory. So maybe we've run it twice. We've run that play 3 times this year. I didn't like the play call. Run something that we're good at. Run something that we've executed tonight. Hell, run stretch. Stretch was working for a period of time. So I'm focusing on the offense here. Late second quarter, that first goal play with about 26 or 25 seconds left, something like that, where Andrews gets tackled for a loss. Yeah, there's some people who online have already said, Stanley thought Andrews was going outside. Andrews cut it inside. Whatever. I don't like the play call. I think it's trying to be cute. We go sprint out on the next two plays, incomplete, settle for a field goal that makes it 10-9. We had a chance to double up. How many times have the Ravens doubled up in the last 2 or 3 years that you can remember? I'm talking about even like 2019-ish when we, had a dominant offense. I don't remember it a whole lot. Now, my memory is probably skewed here based upon the 2021 season with horrible injuries, and then the 2022 season this year where we're still dealing with a lot of those injuries. What's the worst case scenario? First and goal on the 3, 25 seconds left in the second quarter, and you get the ball to start the third quarter. What's the worst case scenario? You either don't score at all or you end up with one field goal, and that's what happened. We had one field goal, and then we open up the third quarter with a 15-yard run by Dobbins, and we try to run on 1st and 10 after a 15-yard run by J.K. Dobbins. We try to run a fake screen and throw a slot fade up top. It's a late completion to Dobbins. I think it was Dobbins, a running back underneath. We got 3 yards. And then really this shows the lack of awareness by our offensive staff. It just does. I don't know. You may think I'm the type of person that wouldn't say that to them. Like I would. I would say that to them. This is first possession of the third quarter after a 15-yard run by Dobbins, and then a short completion to a running back. Forget who it was. 2nd and 7 from our own 38-yard line. We line up in trips pistol, meaning there's 3 receivers to one side. The running back is behind the quarterback. To this point, we had lined up in that formation 4 times, and we had run stretch to the trip side every single time. 2nd and 7. Mike Hilton is finally on the field. Chris Collinsworth, who's actually been pretty good, to be honest with you, surprising to me in terms of his commentary. Mike Hilton recognizes the situation and blitzes. Guys, this is all offensive ineptitude in terms of predictability, horrible calls from inside the 5 or 4th down, whatever. And then on the 3rd down play, Logan Wilson makes a great play on Huntley, scrambling to the left. I think it was a 3rd and 8. I think it ended up being a 4-yard gain, so we had to punt. 2 great plays by their defense, but in my opinion, the 1st and 10, we lost the initiative by running a fake screen out of the shotgun. And then the 2nd and 7, we're running a concept that we've run 4 times out of the same exact formation, and we're surprised that a professional football player with the awareness and intelligence of Mike Hilton recognizes the formation and then blitzes and makes a tackle for loss. So the Bengals get the ball, their 4th possession, we're up 10-7, and they dink and dunk and move their way downfield. This was the quarterback sneak by Burrow. With about 5 minutes left, I think, in the third quarter. The game took a long time. There was a lot of short completions here. The ones that were defining, the one that really this is a huge moment, and it's going to be hard to point out and probably not fun for you to listen to. Bengals 4th possession, 3rd play. They are in 3rd and 1, and they go jumbo 12. So they have 2 tight ends on the field and a 6th offensive lineman. So it looks like they're going to be running the football. Very similar to a formation and situation last week in the final week of the regular season, and they go play action. It's a 3rd and 1. Roquan Smith gets in the backfield. Joe Burrow just juked Roquan Smith. He just did. Huge moment. Up 10-9, have an opportunity to get a stop. If you sack the quarterback there for a 4 or 5 yard loss, you never know. The ball pops out. As it is, Burrow escapes it. Ends up being a 4-yard gain. Huge moment. Mixon gets going on a couple of runs. Boyd a couple of completions. There's a 3rd and 9. Chase beats Marlin on the left side. Just way too much room. Way too much room. I think it was a sideline comeback for like a 12-yard gain on 3rd and 9. I could be wrong there. Then Chase again out of 12 personnel on the next play to the right side against Peters. Huge completion to Hurst. At that moment, it's 17-10 Bengals. And I feel like, our opportunity is gone. Meaning to score a touchdown to end the second quarter, to score a touchdown or maybe a field goal to open the third quarter, and then the opportunity that there was opportunities there for our players to make plays. Roquan Smith didn't make it. He's a great player. I trust him moving forward to make those plays most of the time. So there's fault to go everywhere, don't get me wrong. In my opinion, most of the blame tonight lies with our offensive staff. Having said that, we fall down 17-10, our 6th possession. We go an amazing play by Tyler Huntley to find Dobbins on the right side. I thought he was going to take this to the house. Ends up being a 26-yard gain. This is like mid-late third quarter. Then a screen to Gus from midfield on a 2nd and 10. When have we run a screen to Gus for 14? Then 2 plays later, a double move to Demarcus Robinson up the left sideline. But it's like, if you want to know why Demarcus Robinson may not be on this roster next year, look at the ball security or lack thereof. You cannot have the ball, that far away from your body when you're at like the 6-yard line and the defender is closing. Huge play by Robinson. Like, I appreciate and respect his game. His ball security's got to change if he wants to be on this roster. I don't see the Ravens keeping him around if that's the ball security he's going to show consistently. 41-yard touchdown ties the game at 17. Bengals next possession. Peters plays real physical contact on a 3rd and 2 against Higgins and gets a stop. 4th and 2, we get a stop. 17-all. Ravens have the football to end the 3rd quarter. And at that moment, guys, it looked like we were going to win the football game. I don't know about you. I know there's some people. I saw some of the responses to a post I did on YouTube, like a commentary or a community post asking, what do you think the score is going to be? There's some shocking answers. Like, Ravens going to be turning in their equipment. What did you think when it was 17-all? Late 3rd quarter, we have the football and we're driving. Gus for 9. Huntley, luckily for the Bengals, keeps it on an option play and only gets 4. Could have been bigger. Gus on a stretch for 5. Then the 3rd and 1. This was an amazing, shocking play call. Under center, 3rd and 1 from our own 38. So it's not like the ball was, past midfield yet. 3rd and 1, gutsy call. So I'll give, our offensive staff credit there. Play action up top to Andrews. He beats Jesse Bates one-on-one. Moses is hurt on that play, so we bring in Makari. And we go QB counter read on the next play, Huntley to our left side, but it was to Oliver's side. We ran it away from Ricard. Here's my problem. Great play call. There's 2 great play calls in here. Why did it take until week 19 to run some of these plays away from Pat Ricard? Am I the only one I was frustrated. I think it was a 35-yard run by Tyler Huntley. I'll be honest with you, I was a little pissed off. Like, why did it take until our 19th game for us to be running the ball away from him? Not saying that we can't run the ball to him 70% of the time or 60% of the time or whatever the number is, but it shouldn't be 90 or 95 or whatever the heck it is. 1st and goal from the 2. Early 4th quarter. And we go play action to Ricard. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Lean on him. Impose your will on him. That moment there, 17-all, is be who you are. 2nd and goal from the 2, we run Gus 1 yard. 3rd and goal from the 1, or if you agree with me, the 1 1/3. Hell, maybe it was further than that, but I don't think so. Certainly wasn't 1.5. And Huntley apparently tries to go over the top, which he wasn't coached to do, I guess. Ball gets knocked out by Logan Wilson. That's the 3rd great play. Like, if you don't recognize how great some of these players are for the Bengals defense, I don't know what to tell you. Game-changing play by Logan Wilson. Sam Hubbard recovers it. He's gone. Great hustle by Andrews and maybe one other Raven, but 98-yard fumble return. They're up 20-17. Ravens able to go, not able to do anything on the next possession. We get a stop, and we ran into the punter. To me, it looked like great effort by Stone. Just great. What are you going to do? I mean, he's trying to block the punt. If he's another 2 inches or whatever, in one direction with like 9 minutes left, he blocks it. As it is, he runs into the punter. And then we get a sack by Bowser on a 3rd and 10. And this was BS, if you ask me. The punter tried to fake to draw a flag. That should be a flag. Maybe I missaw it. I only saw it one time. So, I could be wrong. It looked to me like the punter on the 4th and 19 after Bowser's sack tried to draw a flag where there was none, where there was no contact. And I think that's BS. So credit to the Ravens defense that we're able to get a stop there. 2 stops in a row after giving up that touchdown to open the 3rd quarter. Ravens get the ball. It's about 7 minutes left, down 7, and we have to punt. We have a 3rd and 10 where B.J. Hill and I thought Hendrickson beat Stanley. Just first glance, I thought Hendrickson beat Stanley 2 or maybe even more times in pass rush situations, and that surprised me after what I saw in Week 5. Bengals get the ball, 4:30 left, and you would think, okay, they might close this thing out. Complete to Hurst excuse me, sorry. They get a hold after a big run by Mixon. When I say big run, like Calais Campbell did his stunt, and I thought Calais Campbell got held. And then they called it on the left tackle against JPP, who, again, I thought played well, even though the stats may not show it. 1st and 19, great job by Owe. I thought Owe played well. You can tell me, he only had, I think, maybe 2 or 3 tackles. But he's in. Look, I've been one of those ones. I've been anti-dropping Owe out in the pass coverage all year. But on this 1st and 19, if he's not in that window to chase, that's a huge completion. As it is, and again, Collinsworth got to give him credit. He did break it down. Owe's in the window. Ball's got to be thrown high. Incomplete. Chase drops it. 2nd and 19. Hurst with a short gain, a 9-yard gain. And then Owe scrambles to tackle Burrow. Again, we force a punt. 3:25 left. We got the ball. Prochet, like maybe a 14 or 15-yard return to midfield. Left side. I thought there was even an opportunity for a bigger gain, but a Bengals player ended up doing a nice job. I'm just scrolling through these stats, to be honest with you. I didn't do the pictures that I normally do, other than the front one, Logan Wilson, the strip. And I thought the Ravens did a nice job on this drive initially. But something changed, and this has been a pattern with the Ravens all season long. And I may not be able to describe this perfectly, so feel free to correct me in the comment section for real. When we reach the red zone or near it, there seems to be a different play sheet that Greg Roman is reaching for. That may not be accurate, but there is some time that lapses where we are changing gears somewhat. And we kind of lose our initiative. And I can't remember specific games. This is just a generalized observation right now. We have 4th and inches from the 36. And we run QB power right with Huntley. Nice cut. I thought Gus did a good job on that play. I thought Ricard did a good job. And I think it was Powers who pulled from the left side. Then we go empty. And I feel like there's time here from the 33. 1st and 10 from the 33. We go empty, incomplete. Complete to Robinson, who, as far as being targeted tonight, looked dangerous. I thought Robinson and Watkins, there was some opportunities to get them the ball against Apple and CTB. Looking at those matchups, I don't think those matchups were deficits for us. And I think the opportunities they had show that. 2nd and 10, complete to Robinson, illegal use of hands by CTB. Then a 1st and 10 from the 28, complete to Dobbins over the middle. And like I covered before, now in my notes, I have the next play ending at the 29-second mark. That can't be right. That's way too much time from 117 to 29 without, without a delay of game or something. ESPN's charting has 117 to 34 seconds. So if we accept that, if you do, and I'm still not sure about it, to be honest with you, then the ball's probably snapped, because that's the one that was almost intercepted by Pratt. Ball's probably snapped at 39 seconds, something like that, maybe 40. I'm just not sure on that math, but in any case, too much time. And my notes even say it. Why the F are we taking so much time? Incomplete to Andrews, 29 seconds left. 2nd and 10 from the 17. And we run a draw play to Justice Hill. Now, I like Justice Hill. Justice Hill, I feel like, has had a great year for us. When he's been given opportunities, I think he's taken advantage of them. 2nd and 10 from the 17. You have 2 timeouts left. What the hell are we running a draw for? They call a hold. 2nd and 20 from, 22, 7 seconds elapsed on that play because he bounced it out to the left, got out of bounds. It was incomplete, and I thought we had a substitution issue on that play, moving from the 2nd and 10 to 2nd and 20. I understand we're changing personnel groups. The 2nd and 10 was 21 personnel, the draw to Hill. The very next play was 22 personnel. It doesn't take that long to substitute one guy in. Again, I'm reminding you of that Survivor gif, and you may not have liked what I said earlier. I was kind of smiling evilly, because if you're going to end it in a manner that everyone remembers, and things are going to improve, change, processes and procedures are going to be hopefully developed, that are not in place now. Ends up being a 3rd and 20. Incomplete left side on a scramble by Huntley. Very similar to the Broncos play that he made to Kenyon Drake. 8 seconds left, 4th and 20. Couple of timeouts called by the Bengals in here. Huntley's able to escape some pressure. Again, I thought Stanley got beat, but I may be misremembering it. Huntley's able to find space and give the guys an opportunity to make a play. It shouldn't have come to that. Hail Mary, basically. Shouldn't have come to that. 4th and 20 from the, I think, 27, maybe 28, something like that. Maybe it was 26. Shouldn't have come to that. Yeah, it's deflected. You know, some of you think Prochet should catch the ball. I mean, go out there and try that yourself. 24-17 loss. I thought Huntley did a good job for most of the game. The QB sneak situation clearly was a mistake by him. If you accept Harbaugh's explanation, you know, which I do. I don't listen to the pressers, but someone on Twitter quoted it. Fine. So it's his fault. It's a poor play call. Play call sucks. Just like the 1st and goal play sucked to end the second quarter that I talked about. The throwback screen to Andrews. Just like a couple of other short yardage plays sucked. Like, it's a pattern. I said this in the Discord, and it's kind of harsh. It's not how I really feel, but I said fire the guy on the plane ride home. Make him sit through the plane ride, knowing he just got fired. Like, did the defense play well enough to win, in your opinion? Well, they gave us a chance. I'll settle there, me personally. The defense gave us a chance. Bengals had 18 first downs. Averaged 4.3 yards per play. 234 total yards for the Bengals offense. Now, having said that, the play-by-play, they scored on 2 possessions in the 2 out of 3 possessions in the first half. Excuse me. There's a kneel down to end a half. I don't count that. Then they scored to open the third quarter, a touchdown. So to that point, the Bengals have scored on 3 of 4 possessions. The only one they didn't score on was the unbelievable play by Kyle Hamilton, who looked like a beast tonight, forcing the fumble on Hayden Hurst. I thought he knocked Hayden Hurst out. It kind of reminded me of Bernard Pollard hitting Stephen Ridley, except I would never put Bernard Pollard and Kyle Hamilton in the same comparison. To that point, early third quarter, the Bengals offense has scored on 3 of 4 possessions. Didn't think the defense was playing that great. Ravens shut them down the last 3 possessions. Now, check this number out. In 3 games against the Ravens defense this year, I'll do some quick math, and I might be wrong. I got Joe Burrow for 634 yards passing, 180 minutes of gameplay against the Baltimore Ravens defense. 644 or 43 yards passing total in 3 games. That's pretty impressive if you ask me, in terms of what our defense did against him. There's people last week who said, it was a vanilla game plan. Well, what was it this week? Another vanilla game plan? 234 total yards. Yes, the defense gave us a chance to win. The offense in these red zone situations was terrible. That is a very specific, concrete justification for wholesale changes on the offensive side. Whole staff needs to be looked at on the offensive side. The entire staff. Don't give me that crap. We should just fire Greg Roman and the next guy up. The whole staff should be looked at and decided upon individually what their contribution was, and do they play any role or part in stuff like happened tonight in these red zone situations. Ravens ran for 155. 4.4 yards per carry. The 2 turnovers killed us. I got us for 6 turnovers in the last 2 games against the Bengals. Now, having said all that rant that I talked about earlier, Bengals defense deserves credit. You may not agree with me on that one. That's no problem. They play hard. They compete. They challenge you. They will challenge next week, even without a Woozy, even without another left tackle, apparently. Tough break for them, man. It sucks. But that's football. Ravens had a lot of guys play like warriors tonight. I did not think a couple of guys played to their standard. And these are guys who I'm a huge fan of, so I'm not just being a jackass and criticizing them. I didn't think Ronnie Stanley played to his standard. I didn't think Roquan Smith played to the standard he set last week. Patrick Queen, I thought, missed some reads, to be honest with you. I thought the D-line did a good job getting 4 sacks. I think we had 8 or 9 quarterback hits. Tyus Bowser was balling. 3 quarterback hits, a sack. I thought he was close to another sack. Justin Houston had that early sack. I thought he had another pressure mid-second quarter. Oweh, according to the stats, only 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL, 1 quarterback hit. Had the really nice pass drop that Collinsworth mentioned. Tracked down Burrow on the left sideline. I think there's some hand inaccuracies with Oweh. If you look at that scramble by Burrow, I think it's a 3rd down, like 3rd and 8. Oweh, to me, should be trying to strip the ball. Ends up hitting Burrow in the helmet along the sideline. I'm not saying it should be called a penalty. I don't believe in that crap. My point is, his hands don't always hit accurately where he would like them to if he was able to, watch the play over or replay, have a chance to replay it. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that dynamic is. But I thought he played well. Didn't see Isaiah Likely targeted once. Mark Andrews, 5 catches for like 73 yards on 10 targets. So 5 catches on 10 targets doesn't look good. Demarcus Robinson, the big play. JK's balling. I mean, JK, I think, had 100 yards of total offense. Gus had the screen for 13 or 14 yards. Only averaged like 3.4 per carry. Justice Hill, did have 2 catches for 10 yards. Multiple other guys contributed. I thought that the players on offense came to win. I thought our team showed up to win. The Bengals defense makes things difficult, and that's playoff football. When a defense makes things difficult, our offensive structure, whether Lamar's there or not, in a lot of cases, seems to crack in certain situations. Inside the 5, 4th downs, 2-point conversion plays in some situations, but that's really me talking about last year too. And then this one, and this is where I'll end it. Transitioning from outside the red zone into the red zone. Something happens. And it happened, I think it happened twice tonight. And I think that there is something there, don't know what it is, about the way we're getting calls in, about the way we're getting play calls in, and it's got to change. It will change. There's just absolutely no way it doesn't. You guys let me know. I'm sure I missed players who played well tonight. Loved how Marcus Peters competed. I know some people didn't like the penalty he got, but you need some people with a little bit of attitude, and I like him. I would love for him to be back for the right salary structure. I'm just not sure it's going to fit. Too soon for me to start talking about those issues because there's too many Ravens players that played their ass off tonight and competed and deserve respect for at least to wait a while to start talking about those contract situations. Would love to hear you guys' feedback. I think missed opportunity for the Ravens again. Completely, accurately summarizes the season. Another game lost where it was completely winnable, offense short-circuited, and certain situational awareness just is not in our players' minds nor our coaches' minds, and that's a problem. Appreciate you guys' time. Tough loss. Good luck to the Bengals next week. We'll definitely be watching that game. I know that they are hated rivals, but me personally, I'm the type of person that if we lose to you in the playoffs, I'm rooting for you because I want AFC North teams to win. Like, I'm different. I understand everybody's not the same way. You won't want another AFC North team to win a Super Bowl. I'll be rooting for the Bengals because I like AFC North football. I like the way that those guys dapped each other up after the game. Certainly not Harbaugh and Zach Taylor. Harbaugh wasn't having it. But the players respect each other. That happens when you face each other for 180 minutes over the course of one season. It kind of draws people together. That's the nature of competition. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section. If you think other Ravens fans might enjoy this video, please consider sharing a link on social media to help the video get more reach.